All right, this is People versus Tasha.
Right away, this case sounds routine, but don't be fooled. A first-time offender, a serious charge, and a judge about to balance punishment with understanding. Let's see how this unfolds.
Our camp. File number is 252266SD. This camp was charged with operating while intoxicated. This matter was reduced to impaired driving. And here we are. Daniel Frazine is here. He's prepared the pre-sentence report. And this camp has no criminal record. Other than something real minor a long time ago. Has a good job, is a mom, and
Wait, did you catch that? A BAC of nearly 0.1. Now that's more than twice the legal limit in most places. The real question is, was this reckless behavior or a dangerous misunderstanding of how alcohol affects her body?
This was sneaking up on her. The blood alcohol was spooky, 188 and 192. So we got to figure out what to do now. Ms. Strong, what would you like me to know?
Thank you, Your Honor. I feel like a broken record this morning. Ms. Camp also has taken some serious initiatives since this occurred. She has done, I would note this under the recommendation section, she has done a substance abuse assessment. She's provided a completion certificate for the Crime for Life course, and she has taken substantial steps to address this issue. At the time of the incident, she did report she's had gastric bypass surgery and she was taking a medication that interacted with alcohol. Since that incident, she has switched her medication around, so she's no longer taking that medication and she's no longer consuming alcohol. I would ask the court, this one trends a bit more towards a legislative fines and costs request, but I do not want to in any way indicate that Ms. Camp is not prepared to do and successfully complete a probation. I would leave that up to the court.
Daniel, we'll hear from you and then we'll hear from Ms. Camfield. This was also a break where this was reduced to impaired, so Ms. Camp will be able to drive back and forth to work. Mr. Frazine, what would you like me to know?
Well, I actually, with this high a BAC and with a quote accident, when you look at the police report and it's described as an accident, I almost think an accident is kind of a stretch of what happened. It looks like she kind of stranded herself on the railroad tracks. I think that had to do a lot with the inebriated state she was at. She was not a well-practiced 188 or 192. I will say that, with a high BAC like this, I would almost always go right for the probation, and I did with this one. But I kicked back, going back and forth as well with the fines and costs. She took this very seriously. She got an alcohol highway safety course, or prime for life, as they could call it now. I did not see that, but she told me about that, and I have no reason to doubt that she completed that. She said she would bring that paperwork to court. I did see the substance abuse assessment, which really came back at no recommendation. And I think the court correctly stated that this kind of snuck up on her. I don't think that this was kind of like I don't want to say out of the ordinary, but I think this is something that was kind of just there, and this kind of went pop. And I think it really caused her to have a day of reckoning with herself. And to me, she exhibited complete remorse, complete ownership. Because of her job and being a mother, I think she's going to take this very seriously. I don't think she'll come back. And I honestly, because of the high BAC, I'm almost always going to recommend probation. That's what I went with. But I was actually teetering back and forth between the fines and costs and a term of probation, Your Honor. And I do think she'll have no problem completing the probation.
All right. Ms. Campfield, I'll give you an opportunity, then we'll hear from Ms. Camp.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm looking. I'm concerned that this was a situation in which that blood alcohol got so high. And the report does indicate that not only was the vehicle stranded and stuck on the railroad tracks, the defendant was laying in the middle of the road. So I'm not sure what happened on this particular night, but it is concerning enough that I'm glad she did go and get the substance abuse assessment. I know that myself, as well as the court, has previously disagreed with those assessments.
Well, some are better than others, I guess.
Right. I have not had an opportunity to see this because I'm not provided the assessments when I get the probation documents. So I'm at a little bit of a loss there. I don't know why it would recommend no follow-up. I do think a short probation term is appropriate. I don't know that most of us at a 0.1819 would even be able to drive to get to the point to be stuck on a railroad track. So,
well, there's a factor going on here, which is the gastric bypass. We've seen these before. Alcohol consumption is generally advised against after gastric bypass surgery due to significantly increased risks of rapid intoxication, addiction transfer, and severe health complications. Due to a smaller stomach pouch and faster transit time to the small intestine, alcohol reaches the bloodstream almost instantaneously. They had an episode on 60 Minutes about gastric bypass and alcoholism. And they were given a bypass without counseling anybody about the effects. You get drunk real fast. You still have to drink enough alcohol to get to that level, but your body doesn't process alcohol the same way people that haven't had the surgery do. And as Daniel said, you were drunk, like stumbling drunk, which actually is kind of encouraging in a strange way. We see lots of people with a high blood alcohol that are doing real well. They're driving, they're communicating with people, they're answering questions, which means they have developed a tolerance to the alcohol. You did not have a tolerance to this alcohol. It hit you like a train. And no pun intended, I've had a number of cases where people did what you did. They turned down the railroad tracks between the Null building and the coffee shop, where the railroad tracks run parallel to the Enterprise Drive behind the stores. And this was Enterprise Drive. This was I may have my location wrong. Where was this? It was by Frankie's.
Yeah.
All right. Different set of railroad tracks. We've also had several fatal accidents at that intersection. And they closed. Once upon a time, that road went all the way through. It was Lover's Lane, and then it became Cowling. And right there at the tracks at Frankie's, there were several fatal traffic accidents, one of some notoriety, and they closed it off. The Lover's Lane no longer goes all the way through there. Anyway, you got a good job. You can't smoke marijuana because of your job. I don't think you're even interested in it. I didn't ask the last girl, but as you heard on some of them, alcohol is in there. When you got your surgery, did they talk at all about the effects of alcohol?
Not to this extent. The only thing they said is just like wait 6 months before you were to even have anything, which I normally don't have anything.
This is the turning point. No excuses, just accountability. And in court, that matters more than anything. Do you think her honesty should reduce her punishment, or does the high BEC outweigh everything? Let me know in the comment.
So I just listened to what they said.
All right. What would you like me to know?
This was very embarrassing for me.
Yes.
It's not why I want to be down in Centerville. I would just like to apologize. I am a mom first. two teenagers, and I don't want them to see this. And I do have a very good job that I don't want to lose.
I don't want you to lose it either.
And I don't ever want to come back here.
Well, you can come back and say hello, but I told the last girl, I don't think you're gonna come back here. We've got those Kleenexes there. They tell me I make all the girls cry. I don't try to, but it's emotional stuff. I'm gonna do the same thing as I did with the last young woman. I'm gonna do a 12-month probation. You can be discharged at the end of 6. You're doing everything you need to do. I'm gonna give 1 day credit, 1 day. Not gonna hold any deferral days, but it's expensive. It's $300, $75 crime victims' rights fee, a $50 state minimum fee. I'll cut the screening fee in half to $50 because you have the assessment. The attorney fee is $150, $480 probation oversight fee. Daniel, was there a police reimbursement in here?
Yeah, I looked twice and I did not see one. I don't know if she's a
Angelique, do you see one?
If it was 3 Rivers, which I believe it was, they're usually 120 when there's no accident.
And if it wasn't provided,
Yeah, they were pretty good at. Do you see it in there anywhere?
I don't have it in my discovery.
I'm not gonna order it. I keep ordering it. When they don't do it, I'm not supposed to, and then maybe I make them do it, but generally through is pretty good. We're gonna do the victim impact panel. And you just got a timeout from alcohol. No drugs, no alcohol. You don't use drugs anyway. Now you know you can't drink alcohol. You can have maybe a glass of wine with dinner, but for you, dinner isn't very many calories. And if you drink alcohol like this, it goes straight into your intestine and you're drunk within 5 minutes. I think you're going to be just fine. I don't think I am going to see you again, which is probably okay with you. All right, let me give you a referral out to probation. I think you're going to be just fine. And you don't want to come back. But this is an admonition to anybody else who's considering bypass. This changes your life. Let's add those numbers up, Miss Kim. 300 plus 125 in costs, plus $50 screening fee. I cut it in half. 150 attorney fee. It's just a portion of the actual cost. 480 probation oversight fee, which could be reduced by half. And a victim impact panel of $32 is 1137, same as the last case. The other one had the police reimbursement. All right, you take this out to the front counter. Give you the file. Miss Camp, I wish you good luck. I don't expect, I will see you. I'll see you somewhere, but I won't see you in here, okay?
You can see each other at the grocery store.
Yes, all right, thank you. You don't get to 3 hours as much as you used to, but
We need that paperwork on top.
all right. That's mine.
Oh, okay. Just making sure. You need that piece.
Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you, Your Honor.